What's the craziest thing a parent has asked you to sacrifice for your sibling? I'll never forget the day I bought a car and my mom told me that I had to give it to my sister since she wanted it. And when I didn't agree, she said I either hand over the car to my sister or I'll have to live in it from now on. I actually couldn't believe she was threatening to kick me out just because I wasn't willing to give up my car. Mind you, I still had to pay for the insurance and any damage my sister caused, because she didn't have a job. I never forgave my mom for doing that, but I had no idea that she would do something much worse to me. And it wasn't even on the same level of giving my car away. It all started when my sister gave birth to her fourth baby with her fourth baby daddy. My mom was more than happy to have someone else join our family. She loves her grandkids, babysits them so my sister can go to the club, and even asks me when I'm going to give her a grandkid. She's so blinded by how cute they are that she doesn't stop and think about my sister's financial situation. My sister lives in a studio apartment with one of her boyfriends and all her kids. She can't work because she recently gave birth and her boyfriend works at a Foot Locker. They don't have much money coming in, so my mom is the one paying for the apartment. However, my mom can't support them forever because she works at a retirement home and she struggles to get full-time hours. On top of that, my dad passed away a year ago, so my mom is supporting us all on her own. As you can see, we don't have a great life and my sister has only been making it harder for us. I never knew why she couldn't just keep her legs closed or why my mom worshipped the ground she walked on. I tried to tell my mom that she couldn't keep giving my sister money or else she was never going to learn that her actions have consequences, and that my sister doesn't appreciate how hard she works and only sees her as a piggy bank, not as a mom. But my mom just keeps saying that she feels bad for her daughter and it's her job as a mom to take care of her whenever she's in trouble. She even says she wishes she could help them out more. I've tried to stay out of it because I didn't want to witness my sister getting us into a deeper mess, but my mom updated me, saying that my sister and her boyfriend were getting evicted because they hadn't been paying rent on time. Turns out, my sister used the rent money my mom gave her to buy Balenciaga shoes. I told my mom that this clearly meant my sister didn't value her at all, but she waved me off and said that a woman deserves to spoil herself, and that she is going through a very tough time. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my mom, but what the F? Is she delusional? I wanted to knock some common sense into her at that point. I knew she favored my older sister, but she was going too far to justify her problems. When I asked her how she was going to help out now, she said she didn't know. A week later, my sister visited with her kids and my mom told me to sit down in the living room with them to have a talk. I fully expected my mom to tell me that I had to babysit for free or be my sister's maid while she was going through this tough time. However, nothing could have prepared me for what she was going to say. She started off by telling me that she loved me and cared for me a lot, but, there's always a but, my sister needed all the support she could get, and since she didn't have enough money to support her right now, she decided to liquidate my college fund, take the 40% loss for taking it out before I went to school and give the money to my sister. I was shocked. I couldn't even hear what she was telling me after that. I felt like I was losing my mind. I could see my dream career going down the drain. My college fund covered the tuition for the college I was going to attend. I even paid the deposit already. How was I supposed to afford college now? I hadn't even been working because I was focusing on my education since I thought I had that college fund. This meant that if I went to college, I would just go into debt, and I would have to work forever to pay off that debt. I thought for once I would have the same support my sister has had, but that just wasn't the case. I kept thinking to myself, how was I supposed to graduate college debt-free and never worry about that financial burden? How was my life going to look like now? I really felt like dying. When I regained my composure, I could see my sister smiling at me all innocently. My mom just told me to stop being selfish and that my sister needed my college money more than I did. My sister then chimed in to tell me that she had kids to take care of and college isn't as important as her kids. That wasn't the point. The point was that they stole my money. I always knew my older sister was the favorite, but this really confirmed it. My mom tried to justify herself by telling me that there were no other studio apartments with cheap rent, and that she was torn. But after seeing her grandkids, she knew it was her duty to take care of the most vulnerable people in the family. I was baffled. She had just ruined my future. How could she not see that? I couldn't listen to her anymore, so I left and locked myself in my room and ignored her calls. I kept thinking about what I was going to do now. I didn't want to give up going to college, and I also didn't want to ask my grandparents for financial help. The last thing I wanted was to be in debt with them in college. I considered taking legal action, but that just meant spending more money that I didn't have. Since my mom wasn't helping me pay for college either, I just decided to get a job and try to save up as much as possible. Luckily, I became really good friends with my coworker who often shared the same shift as me. We got really close and I ended up venting to her about my family and financial trouble. She was shocked and said she didn't know people went through that. She admitted that she was only working to get real work experience and not the money, because she made money through other ways. She put me on, saying that she thought I could make more money from that than the job, and told me to cut contact with my mom. I wasn't sure if I should even start using her way of making money because there was no way I was going to have enough money by the time college starts. At that point, I was ready to kiss my dreams goodbye. I felt really hopeless, until I saw my sister and the life she had made for herself. I realized that I didn't want to end up like her and have to depend on somebody for the rest of my life. With that in mind, I used what my coworker put me on. It was a little slow at first, but once I got the hang of it, I was eventually getting more money from that than at my job. As I saw the money in my bank account grow, I felt so happy and free. Meanwhile, my mom was pressuring me to talk to her and apologized a lot. But everything was still fresh and I didn't know if I could ever forgive her. I even felt like if I told her about my money she would steal that too to give it to my sister. So for now, I kept quiet while I let my money grow on its own and felt the financial burden lift off my shoulders. I even had enough money to move into the dorm so I could get away from my family. As long as I was in school, I knew I never had to see my family again. Obviously, my mom found out about my money because I was staying at the dorms and asked me how I could afford that. I just told her that she always brags about having a good memory, so she better remember my face because she'll never see me again. Update. Well, thank you guys for all your support. A lot of you wanted an update, so here it is. My mom told me that when I stopped being a spoiled brat she would welcome me back with open arms. For now though, She was going to put all her time and energy on my sister and her kids. It's better for me anyway because I don't plan on contacting her. I even blocked her and will stay with my grandparents during the holidays, just until I can get an apartment, which honestly should happen really soon because I've been making a lot of money. I even get to have the college experience, keep my grades up, and go out during my free time without worrying about money. It's all I wanted. As for everyone asking my method for getting financial freedom after everything, my coworker recommended I use an app called Bloom Learn to Invest, which gives you stocks for learning to invest and inviting your friends. I just made everyone in my college dorm floor sign up and made $4,000.